Namaste. A very warm welcome to one and all. On behalf of Team Vedant, I take this opportunity to welcome you all at India's biggest virtual conference organized by Vedant Knowledge Systems Private Limited. Sustainable Development Goals 2030, Bridging Gaps, Building Futures for Viksit Bharat at 2047, a multidisciplinary international virtual conference happening between 18 to 22nd February 2025. Let us begin the conference with the prayer in the lotus feet of Almighty. Sanandamanandavane vasantam Anandakandam Atpapavrindam Varanasina Thamanatanatham Sri Vishwanatham Sharanam Prapadde. As the visionary organizers of this 11th conference, Vedant Knowledge Systems Private Limited is committed to fostering intellectual discourse, innovation and societal progress. Team Vedant has humbly taken vision of Viksit Bharat as their mission, and the present conference is the third version of Viksit Bharat at 2047 theme conferences, touching thousands of youth and hundreds of educators from diverse institutions and disciplines. With a rich history of organizing impactful conferences and academic events, we believe in creating platforms that transcend boundaries and empower individuals with knowledge and resources. Since last 10 years, Team Vedant is serving to various spheres of education and research domain at national and international levels in various capacities and earn many feathers in its crown. 50 plus universities, 200 plus colleges and 50,000 plus individuals have been served through Vedant's meaningful interventions. The major objectives of organizing the present conference are to realize the vision of Viksit Bharat at 2047 by taking it into mission mode through building ecosystem for a sustainable development, holistic growth of youth and empowering larger communities. Another objective is to create platform for diverse scholars and practitioners to collaborate on multidisciplinary solutions addressing multiple SDGs. The next one is to explore how India's vision for Viksit Bharat 2047 aligns with global SDG agenda for 2030 and to promote innovative practices, policies and technologies to bridge gaps and build resilient, sustainable communities. As you all know, the world approaches 2030 deadline for achieving the sustainable development goals. It is crucial for India to not only contribute to this global endeavor but also to align it with its national vision of a Viksit Bharat, a developed and inclusive India, by marking its 100th anniversary happening in 2047. This international research conference seeks to foster cross-disciplinary discussions, engage diverse stakeholders and catalyze innovative solutions to accelerate progress towards the SDGs while preparing India for sustainable, inclusive and prosperous future. Kiskinda University, Karnataka is knowledge partner of the present conference. The conference is specially supported by Monarch University and Atmiya University. This conference is happening between 18th February 2025 to 22nd February 2025. Today we have with us Dr. Mehul Dave to deliver his keynote address. Let me introduce him. Dr. Dave is Associate Professor with Indian Institute of Teachers Education, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. He is a very versatile speaker and accomplished researcher. He is serving in the area of life sciences, soft skills, life skills, and education. He holds PhD in microbiology. His research works are really torchbearers for the new generation researchers in the domain of microbiology and applied sciences. He has also earned degrees in domain of education and cleared UGC NET, CSIR NET and GSET. Dr. Dave's academic journey encompasses roles as Assistant Professor at Bhakt Kavi Narsi Mehta University and Associate Professor at Gnan Yagna College of Science and Management, Rajkot. His research interests span microbiology, genetics, immunology, biotechnology, and environmental science. And in recognition of his contributions, he received the Vasudhara Mitra Award from Kirloskar India Limited in the year of 2016. Beyond his academic pursuit, Dr. Dave serves as the head of the Student Startup and Innovation Policy Cell at IITE, fostering innovation and entrepreneurship among students. He is a very good speaker and we have this opportunity to listen him. Let's invite Dr. Mehul Dave to talk to us.
Hello, my dear friends. This is really a good opportunity to meet all of you in this virtual conference based on Viksit Bharat. So, thanking the Vedant Group for giving this opportunity to meet all of you. Now, the title of the talk, which has been given to me, it is about Viksit Bharat at 100, Sustainable Development Goals for Inclusive Growth. So we want to correlate what will be Sustainable Development Goal and how can the dream of Viksit Bharat be fulfilled by achieving these Sustainable Development Goals. So let us begin our discussion. Viksit Bharat 2047 means India at 100. After getting independence, now our dream is to reach to that stage where the India will be a developed country. So the process of being developed country should not be at the cost of anything, should not be at the cost of environment, should not be at the cost of the citizens, should not be at the cost of mental peace, should not be at the cost of other countries, other collaborative countries, because our ultimate slogan that we know, it is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So we have to achieve our Viksit Bharat dream by keeping in mind sustainable development goals that are proposed by United Nations. So for that, we'll be talking on this topic and I'll be happy to share my presentation on this. I believe that presentation is visible to all of you and let us begin our discussion. So the title that has been selected is Viksit Bharat at 100, Integrating SDGs for an Inclusive Future. I myself, Dr. Mehul Dave, and I work at Indian Institute of Teacher Education, that is IITE Gandhinagar, as an associate professor and head of the postgraduate department. So this is my brief. The talk which has been assigned to me, I'll be covering the major things like sustainable development goal. What are they and why this is the era of crisis? The second thing that will be that how can we dream of India at 100? How can we dream of achieving Viksit Bharat concept? And the third part will be a detailed one. It will be about future of India in science and it will be about climate action. So that is going to be very interesting. Mahatma Gandhi ji has told that Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. This is our Viksit Bharat dream. We want to be a developed country in 2047, but keeping in the mind that all sustainable development goals should be addressed. So someone has told, the growth and the development should not be at the cost of anything. We know that pollution has been defined as, it's a controversy between short-term advantage of an individual and long-term advantage of society. So as an individual country, we don't want to be short-term, and we don't want to achieve that short-term goals, which cost some future of other countries, the entire globe. So that is the point. So sustainable development goals that are proposed by United Nations, and sustainable development is a development that meets the need of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generation for their own needs. There are so many challenges to this definition also, and this SDGs, the sustainability concept, will address so many such questions. The better definition of sustainability can be, as the answer to the question of the previous slide can be, yes, we can say that the human activities associated with them are unsustainable. So in order to be sustainable, we must therefore address the impacts of human activity on the quality and sufficiency of vital capitals, that is renewable, non-renewable, and societal energy in the world. So sustainability is the subject of social or management science, that studies and manages the impact of human activity on the quality and sufficiency of vital capital in the world as required to ensure human well-being, and well-being not for persons of specific country, well-being for all, right? So this SDGs, there are 17 sustainable development goals. They were proposed in 2015 by United Nations member states. All right. And the focus areas, they are like ending poverty. Now, that is not the requirement of only India, that is the need of the entire world. Improving health and education, reducing inequality, fostering economic growth, addressing climate change, and conserving oceans and forests. These are the major areas, right? So the entire historical background is something like this. The achievement of sustainable goals in 2030 was dreamed of, years back. In 1992, there was Earth Summit at Rio, and there was an adoption of Agenda 21. Then in New York, 2000 Millennium Summit was there, and at that time, 8 MDGs, Millennium Development Goals, were proposed. Then 2 years later, in 2002, World Summit on Environmental Development held at South Africa. And 2012, Rio Plus 20 Summit at again Rio de Janeiro. And there the document came, that is the future we want. That document was released, right? And a high-level political forum was established for developing that sustainable development goals. Ultimately, 30-member open working group was created. And then in 2015, after a lot of brainstorming, global brainstorming, the agenda for sustainable development was proposed. Now, friends, these are 17 sustainable development goals, and we want to talk about each of them one by one. So one goal is no poverty. Second goal is zero hunger, and then good health and well-being and quality education and gender equality and clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities, responsible consumption, climate action, life below water and land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and partnerships for the goal. These are total 70 things that affect the life of each and every person on the globe. Got it? Each and every person on the globe, each and every country. So there is only one agenda, right? Supremely ambitious and transformational vision for our community. Right? And one agenda, there are 5 major areas, 17 goals, 169 targets, and 240 indicators. The major 5 areas are people, prosperity, planet, peace, and partnership. These are 5 major areas, friends. So total 17 goals. And some of the goals are to do with the state of, our planet. One of the most important thing about SDGs is the fact that they are all connected. All of them are connected. They are connected with each other, one another. They are connected to us also. I think you can understand that. Sustainable development means that we need to reach this vision of the world without preventing future generations from also being able to meet their needs. So we want to fulfill our needs, and we want our next generations also to fulfill their needs. Now, there must not be any contradiction between these two, right? So these are some of the goals. And then there was landmark agreements suggested in March, Sendai framework, in July Addis Ababa action agenda, and then in December Paris agreement, and in September this 17 SDGs were released. There has been a specific procedure for implementation and for review, and then global summits time to time, they keep on reminding us our duties. So there are 17 goals, out of which first goal is no poverty, right? The aim is to eradicate extreme poverty globally by 2030. Now, we want to achieve goal one, and we want to make India also Viksit Bharat. Both of the things can go side by side together simultaneously, right? So lack of food should be addressed, clean and drinking water and sanitation, right? We have to solve the problems like climate change and conflicts. We have to emphasize social policies and service to elevate poverty. That is goal one. Second goal, again, it also very nicely and closely relates to Viksit Bharat, zero hunger. Zero hunger in India, zero hunger in the world. And if, country with biggest population in the world achieves these dreams, then definitely achievement of sustainable development goals for the entire globe will be easier. So goal two is zero hunger. It targets our malnutrition, resilient agricultural practice, genetic diversity, and all this. Goal three is good health and well-being. That is, of course, needed. Mortality rate should be reduced. Diseases should be combated. We should address various non-communicable disease also, and pandemic disease like COVID also. Goal four is quality education, inclusive education, equitable education, and quality education. And I represent the university which always focuses on providing best education by creating the best teachers. So target will be free primary and secondary education all over the world, literacy, numeracy, and vocational training. And our NEP 2020 also focuses on similar things, we know. Then next goal is gender equality, and to eliminate violence, to eliminate discrimination, to ensure equal opportunities and all. Leave no one behind, right? Next goal is gender equality. So empowerment, diversity, inclusion, and women should be not only in agriculture, they should be actively playing the roles in each and every occupation. Goal six, clean water and sanitation. Safe drinking water, safe sanitation, and appropriate wastewater treatment. So that also needs a lot of scientific backup. Goal six is this, as you know. And then seven is affordable and clean energy. So we have to always think about renewable energy expansion, energy efficiency, clean energy investment, and all. Right. Research and development also. Then goal eight is decent work and economic growth. There must be full employment, resource efficiency, youth employment, and forced labor should be also ended by 2030. Now, this goal supports innovation in entrepreneurship and access to financial services. This goal also supports innovative ideas like renewable energy and diversity and equality. Also, goal number 9 is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. So, industrialization should also be sustainable. So, there comes the concept like smart city, worldwide connectivity. Just imagine how nice it would be. And then technological advancements also. Goal 10 is reduced inequality. So there should be equal opportunities, inclusive policies, and Divyangjans, and no one should be left behind. There must be enhanced representation for developing nations. So nations like us. Right now, we don't have representation in United Nations Security Council. We know that. But developed India will have the representation, right? Goal 11 is sustainable cities and communities. So housing, public transport, disaster risk reduction, green public spaces, all these are the things that are focused on. It includes cultural heritage protection and environmental impact mitigation also. It includes green communities, resilient cities, and shared spaces also. Goal 12 is responsible consumption and production. And goal 12 focuses on reducing waste generation, promoting recycling, sound management of chemicals. It encourages sustainable corporate practices and public awareness. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Goal 13, most important, climate action. So disaster resistance, resilience, integration of climate policies, and international cooperations. Goal 14, life below water, reduce pollution, sustainable fishing, ocean acidification, and marine ecosystem protection also. In the same way, life on land should also be addressed. So deforestation should be addressed upon, desertification should be prevented, extinction of the species and biodiversity reduction should also be addressed well with the help of this goal. And then goal 16 is peace, justice, and strong institution. We should reduce violence, corruption, and organized crime. And goal 17 is about global partnership, international cooperation, multi-stakeholder partnerships, and knowledge sharing. Now, friends, we want to, in first few minutes, we've understood all 17 SDGs. Now, we want to understand what is the role of higher education in achieving these SDGs. So the first important parameter is research. The curriculum of the college, universities should include SDGs in their each and every subject, right? And then community engagement. Harvard University or, Universidad en Colombia or University of California, they already have implemented sustainable practices. It doesn't mean that Indian universities have not. Many of the Indian universities are also trying to achieve all the SDGs. And by few years, before 2030, we definitely, around more than 70% of Indian universities will also try to achieve all these sustainable development goals. So the challenges are like this. Funding is a challenge. The biggest challenge is our mindset, our resistance to change. And of course, lack of expertise in certain areas. So there comes, interdisciplinary approaches at our help. And then there is profound impact of SDGs on economy and on our society. Social equality, green jobs, environmental stewardship. So education plays a tremendous role in achieving SDGs. We know, right? Now, education allows every human being to acquire their knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values to shape sustainable future. Simply increasing literacy will not support institutional reform, curricular reform, and development of local specific resource material incorporating education for SDGs are our priorities. And again, I'm telling you, our NEP 2020 is a very well prepared document for this. So the education should address climate change, disaster risk reduction, poverty reduction, biodiversity, and sustainable consumption, conversion of energy, water, tree plantation, use of natural energy, and all this. So obviously, education is critical for achieving environmental ethics, environmental awareness, values, and attitude, skills, and behavior, everything. So education plays definitely a key role. You all must agree to this. So slowly and slowly, small but substantial efforts, we must prevent, right? Cutting the trees, right? We have started exploiting environment by doing this. We have started exploiting environment by destroying forests, by destroying land. We have constructed buildings. We have depleted non-renewable resources. And then what not, Our AI looks very nice, fancy, attractive, and comfortable. But AI utilizes a lot of energy. So we have to keep that thing in our mind. Right. So there is a word known as Education for Sustainable Development, ESD. So it is again a new subject, remember. ESD. It's a subfield of education and a conceptual tool to aid policymakers in authoring educational policies that take into account the present environmental, societal, and economical challenges. And environmental education has been a part of school curriculum and college curriculum. That is a very good thing. Education directly affects sustainability plans. All this that you can read on the screen: implementation, decision making, quality of life, and a sustainable manner life should have knowledge, should have values, should understand the issues, should understand perspective, and if needed, change it also, and should have appropriate skills. So just see this cartoon, right? If I throw away glass containers, then someone should slap me, then recycle it. And when you see someone using a plastic straw, then you should give this response, this type of reaction. And when someone doesn't take action for a sustainable future, you should feel sad. So now let us come to Viksit Bharat, right? So this is the dream of Viksit Bharat. And, our Bharat and our Indian knowledge system has always taught us this thing: let noble thoughts come from every side. Ano Badra Katavo Yantu Vishwato. So India is a signatory to the Sustainable Development Goals. We have integrated this goal into our policies, into our initiatives, like Ayushman Bharat. Now that correlates with Sustainable Development Goal of health. Jal Jeevan Mission, life on water, life in water. National Education Policy, so affordable education for all. Atmanirbhar Bharat, again, that comes with industries and innovation. So our all big projects, they align with SDG targets. How nice it is, we should be happy. So Viksit Bharat 2040, it's India's vision for a developed nation. The vision focuses on making India a self-reliant, economically strong, technologically advanced, and socially equitable nation. The roadmap to Viksit Bharat, right, emphasizes on sustainable economic growth of India. We have to promote entrepreneurship, innovation, and skill development, and we are promoting. Second is environmental sustainability, inclusive development, infrastructure, and digital transformation. So the concept like Atmanirbhar Bharat is very well connected to SDGs. There are key goals like, there is a bridging of SDG 2030 and Viksit Bharat, dono connected. Right? So key goals like enhance public-private collaboration. Then another key goal, empower grassroots participation, focus on climate action. Now, from the global scenario, now we are talking about our country. We have to have a goal of economic growth, social inclusion, environmental sustainability, technological advancement that India is really doing well, good governance. So by aligning this SDGs with our long-term vision, and we are always keeping our Indian knowledge system in mind, so we can bridge developmental gaps, we can build a resilient future, friends, and we can definitely emerge as a global leader. Our country will not be only developed nation, but it will be global leader. Fine, there is a synergy between both the things. SDG and Viksit Bharat share many common goals. Key areas of convergence of both. Poverty eradication, दोनों में है. Education and health, again, both of them have. Gender equality, Viksit Bharat की भी कल्पना है. And then, of course, SDG तो है ही. And then climate action, sustainable infrastructure. So both are complementary to each other. They can help India achieve its development goals. Right? India can contribute to global effort. And at the same time, when we pursue the vision of Viksit Bharat, India can create a better future for its citizen, and we can become a global leader in global economy. And science and technological growth is not merely a byproduct of global trends, but a testament of the concerted efforts in molding young minds, future cadets of scientific endeavor. So there is a very nice current landscape of science in India. Now we are slowly coming towards science and technology, and how science and technology will help achieve SDGs and will help achieving Viksit Bharat dream. We have ISRO, we have IITs, CSIRs. They have positions on our country on the global map, isn't it? वही हमें विकसित भारत तक भी ले जाएंगे, right? And then education of STEM, right? So there is a very nice setup in our country. NEP 2020, we should not forget it. It places significant importance on experiential learning, critical thinking, interdisciplinary education. So scientific temper will come in our mind. Now, these are various discoveries that India has given to the world, friends. Bose, Einstein. This is again a very nice slide. You can capture a screenshot. Bose-Einstein condensate, or the theory of bosons, and Cresco-graph, and microwave communication, Raman effect, Saha ionization equation, Chandrasekhar limit, Chandrasekhar number, Indian space programs, three-state nuclear programs, file transfer protocol, coding, and then Simputer. These are the breakthroughs in science, and that is achieved by Indian scientists, of course. And then we are now poised to become a major global player in science by the developments in AI, right? And our Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, sir, our late president, in his book India 2020, he has written all these things that India will have. The Indian science community has become a long way. India has been making steady strides since the turn of the century, and we will be most powerful economy, leading factors being science and technological advancement on the forefront. So our ISRO, in next 10 years, we are expected to integrate more into global research ecosystem through participation in international research, friends. Organization of such conference are also part of that. There are so many things, there are so many good initiatives to foster young scientific talent in India, and that helps us to reach to Viksit Bharat, Atal Innovation Mission, KVPY, that is Kishore Vaigyanik Protsahan Yojana, and then Inspire Fellowship Program, that is Innovation in Science Pursuit for Inspired Research, and then Vigyan Pratibha, that is conducted by Homi Bhabha Center. India's thriving scientific ecosystem, in cutting edge fields like space exploration, biotechnology. Now, Gujarat has GSBTM, Gujarat State Biotechnology Mission. And, before 15 years, then CM, now PM, Shri Narendra Modi ji, had given the concept IT plus BT is equal to IT plus BT. So, information technology plus biotechnology will be India today and Bharat tomorrow. That has been a slogan given by our PM, sir. So, renewable energy, vibrant startup ecosystem, and with a strategic investment in R&D, world-class research institution, focus on interdisciplinary collaboration, India is now on the road towards becoming a global leader in science. See this. India is the second most entrepreneurial country in the world. Just amazing, isn't it? After Chile, we are second. So in entrepreneurship, we are far ahead. Fields like biotechnology and biomedical sciences in India, they are having a great accelerated growth. ICERs are there, NITs are there. And then these are the areas where India is going to play an important role in the future. One is IoT. I'm covering the slides very fast, Companies like Tech Mahindra and Algo Engines, they are creating Internet of Things technologies that make virtual monitoring very easy. And we will have 100 smart cities. And we are connected to smartphones. Most common association of people in India have with internet, with the help of smartphones, with the help of public service and all others, smart homes and smart cities. Then the concept like AI, it enhances business in all areas. So companies like Maruti Tech Lab, Bose, Sigma Data System, Tata Elxsi, and Happiest Mind and Kelton Tech, now they are running ahead in AI research. And see, this is the market size of IT industry in India. And then the area like robotic. In medicine, robotics carry out operations like transplantation and dialysis. Fantastic. Companies are designing robots for military operations also now in India. So see this rise of robots. And then drones, again, we will be global drone hub by 2030. Companies like Thanos and Zomato and InfoEdge, Zen Technology, Paras Aerospace. Now Zomato has already experimented, delivering food with the help of drone. The future is not far. Then another area where India will be leader, software computing. By doing all this, we are on the road to achieve SDGs. India's software sector snapshot is really wonderful. See, companies like, there are CEOs of Indian origin like Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, and Shantanu Narayan, Arvind Krishna, and Sanjay Mehrotra. These are global, CEOs, but they are of Indian origin. And we know that wife of Vice President of the United States is also an Indian, and the one who handles NIA and CIA, they are also Indians, like Tulsi Gabbard and all that, right? And then those people are connected to India by mind, by heart, by soul. So definitely they will also help us in achieving our goals. Infosys and Hyperlink Infosystem, HCL Technology, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, Accenture, these are the companies. Then virtual reality, that is VR, and augmented reality, that is AR. This is another area where India will be a global leader. And then gaming sector, young Indian entrepreneurs. They develop, they have developed countries like companies like Innovatio Technology, Zartec, and iBoson. These are all Indian companies, friend. Another area where India is optimistic, that is blockchain technology. And I've listed the name of the companies there also. One more area is robotic process automation and intelligent process automation. And then in universe exploration also, our ISRO is not far behind NASA. So we have lunar missions, we have Mars exploration and interplanetary probes. And now our Chandrayaan and Gaganyaan, now the entire world knows. So this is also a road towards becoming a global leader and developed nation. There are a lot of breakthroughs in biotechnology also. Now the concept like gene editing technique, CRISPR-Cas9 and all that, genetic engineering and stem cell technology, clinical science, all these are very good areas. Synthetic biology, regenerative medicine, personalized medicine, and then nano agricultural practices, right? Precision medicine, gene editing, bioinformatics. So, now Atharva Ved Samhita says all this, importance of climate, holy water, air, and plant life. So we have to take care of the nation. Not only nation, we have to take care of the entire earth. So we have to think about renewable energy. There must be innovations. And then artificial intelligence, quantum computing, personalized medicine. There is a lot of things, in the pipeline. Cyber city, data privacy, ethical consideration in scientific research are also there. STEM education should be made stronger and stronger. Interdisciplinary research must be given first priority. There must be global collaborations. There are some challenges and opportunities for our country also, like brain drain, like fostering inclusive innovation and bridging the urban-rural divide. These are challenges that also we have to understand. Policy reform is a challenge. Now, friends, next part in our discussion will be climate change and sustainable development goals. SDGs we want to achieve, not at the cost of climate degradation, right? So we have to understand the importance of renewable energy and land use changes and conservation measures, and industrial processes should be clean enough. Lifestyle changes to reduce carbon footprints. Of course, we have to think about this. Not only carbon footprints, single-use plastics, this problem should also be addressed well. And then our consumption habits should also be sustainable. Not only you always use and throw kind of concepts, Buying locally sourced food, reducing meat consumption can reduce carbon footprints. And then sustainable transportation choices, walking, biking, taking public transportation. They are also, related to Viksit Bharat. They are related to SDGs. And then we have to change our lifestyle. All you need is less. So there is a mission known as Mission Life. Our Prime Minister, lifestyle for environment. He has given this. And the Mission Life is India's contribution to the global climate crisis. So many individual actions will make us climate responsible citizens. Plastic bags should be used less. Right? And then water should not be wasted. Power should not be wasted. And then traffic jam and all that things should be addressed by using the combined or pooled vehicle practices. There are so many climate friendly approaches of our country that can teach the world. We have demonstrated leadership in programs like Swachh Bharat Mission and Govardhan Scheme and Give It Up campaign. Prime Minister has launched Catch the Rain campaign. For centuries, Indian civilizations have practiced and led sustainable lifestyle, eco-friendly habits. Per capita CO2 emission of India is 1.8 ton. Global average is 4.8 ton. So we are somewhere, we are placed in a good position. There are other countries and other novel concepts that India should learn, like Japan, like Sweden and Morocco. These are good practice of other countries also. We have to utilize biodegradable utensils. So that is called Mission Life. And that Mission Life concept was given by our Prime Minister in COP 26. So call to action is time is precious. Make this climate action as a part of your culture, collaborate, impact. And there is role of technology also in climate action. So our energy consumption should be reduced. Food choices should not spoil environment. So the role of meat and dairy in greenhouse gas emission should be understood and explained well to the students, to the neighbors, to the other members of the community. Our strategy should be for promoting sustainable food choices, for waste reduction and recycling, and always think green, dear friends. The slides tell you so many things and give us a lot of message. Our living should be sustainable. And then there are benefits of sustainable lifestyle choices, agriculture, food choice. So always remember what is told by Louis Pasteur, that fortune favors the prepared mind, but it will favor only if your mind is prepared, if you are prepared. Right? And great things are done by a series of small things brought together. So when we do small things, definitely we can change our country, we can make it developed, and we can achieve sustainable development goals also. So this is a picture worth 1,000 words. That's all from my side, my dear friends. Again, I'm thanking Vedant for giving this opportunity to meet you all through this virtual way. And here I end up my talk. Thank you. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Dr. Mehul Dave, for your wonderful talk. It was really enriching experience to listen you. Vedant Knowledge Systems Private Limited is really grateful to you for your contributions, time and wise words. Thank you very much, sir. Let's grab this opportunity to listen to international speaker and a very well-known researcher, Dr. Evangelia Vassilakou, to deliver her plenary talk. Evangelia Vassilakou has BA in Philosophy from Degree College, the American College of Greece, and MA in Applied Linguistics from the Hellenic American University with high distinction. She is a PhD candidate in Language and Communication from Hellenic American University. She is experienced teacher in English for academic purposes and English for specific purposes. She also masters English as foreign language and serving as instructor with an expertise in teaching EFL exam classes for last 25 years. She has also worked as an educational consultant and head director in a publishing company. She is currently working as an academic English instructor at Metropolitan College and as a teaching manager at English Academy of Languages in Greece. She has presented in numerous conferences in variety of capacities, like she has presented as researcher, she has also presented as keynote speaker, she has presented as international speaker. She has recently chaired a session at Vedant International Online Conference, a charity fundraising event to contribute to corona affected poor masses in India. Evangelia has an excellent editorial experience as she has authored various articles for the ELT News magazines and TESOL Greece. Let's invite Evangelia to deliver her talk and grace the event.
A big question one could ask is innovate or stagnate? There are examples of many countries around the world which have chosen to innovate and develop themselves. This is also the right time for India to create the future and build a great India. This transformative roadmap is encompassed by the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, the developed India. The theme of this initiative seeks to evolve India by its centenary of independence in 2047. To achieve this goal, special attention should be given to the United States Sustainable Development Goals. The vision of this initiative entails a plethora of aspects of development, especially an inclusive development, a substantive, meaningful development of all forms of infrastructure, physical, digital, and social. But today I would particularly like to delve deeply into how education and higher educational institutions can also promote this idea of the sustainable goals. First and foremost, I would like to consider a centric development that is empowering the youth. This is best illustrated in the words of the Prime Minister of India, Modi, who claimed that youth power is both the agent of change and also the beneficiaries of change. Therefore, the youth should be trained and developed all the necessary skills in order to be prepared for the rapidly developing real world. This, of course, can be achieved by quality education, which is STEM education, for example, the promising education of the future, as it provides opportunities for skill development. Additionally, increased female enrollment in STEM courses is of the utmost importance. Courses on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which will lead to a rise in the female labor force. Let's not forget that the role of educational institutions is personality building. Empowering every citizen to be a catalyst for change leads to other agents like happiness. Without achieving happiness, development is meaningless. We can't dream of nations that have developed, but people who are not happy. Therefore, if there is lack of well-being and eudaimonia, we can't talk about development. There are roles and responsibilities of education institutions, teachers, youth, and other stakeholders of the society in achieving the SDG goals. But there's also a framework. There has to be a framework. For example, they should promote the creation of a sense of urgency, to feel that the change is consistent with people's values and appeal to both hearts and minds, not just as a framework, a mere framework, and create engagement and agreement around the needs for this change. Secondly, to identify the right mixture of people and a well-functioning team which will be committed and motivate and influence all the other people around them, and credible team as well. Thirdly, it is important to establish a strategic view, to develop a vision of a realistic aspiration. It has to be attainable, accentuating the realism of the goal. So sustainable development should not be viewed just as an initiative, but as a strategic imperative. To communicate the vision openly is also very important, or to repeat the vision, in other words, to disseminate and instill the vision across the entire educational institutions. Apart from that, the policies of the institutions should focus on Industry 4.0 and digital transformation. By equipping students with skills in AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, data science, and all the necessary technological tools, it will create a skilled workforce for the future, contributing to the SDG 4, which is the goal of quality education. To realize that, the teachers should also integrate sustainable development goals into the curriculum and research, which requires time and a concerted effort from all levels of the institution. It is not just about adding new courses, it's just about a cultural shift towards sustainability. This shift signifies a paradigm shift, if we can call it that way, in how sustainability is perceived. It's moving from a nice-to-have approach to a must-have element. This also suggests that the motivation for sustainable development is multifaceted, encompassing both ethical considerations and strategic imperatives. This dual approach emphasizes a holistic commitment of institutions to not only fulfill their social responsibilities, but also enhance their institutional reputation and therefore remain competitive in the global educational landscape or arena. It is a paradigm shift rather than a superficial engagement, not just a trend, but the dedication of academic staff. Policy consistency is another concept which is very, very important because it emerges not only as a significant step, but also as the heart and the soul towards sustainable development. There is a need for a consistent and clear direction from the top. Without this, it is difficult to maintain momentum and commitment towards sustainable development. We often see policies that have changed throughout time, or they lack any clarity, leading to confusion, uncertainty, and a lack of coherent strategy. So this lack of consistency may be problematic and may impede any transformation shifts and policies. So it may undermine trust and make it hard to engage in long-term and not short-term sustainability efforts. Now I would like to move on and explain more analytically the role of teachers in higher education and how they can help in achieving the sustainable development goals. First of all, in order to address challenges like poverty, hunger, or inequality, gender inequality, educators need to educate their students and instill the virus of sustainable development goals, as I call it metaphorically, about the SDGs and their significance. This means that teachers should integrate SDG-related projects or SDG-related activities into their curriculum. They should make resources also available to promote sustainability awareness to students. For example, books, articles, websites, and other educational visits that they may deem necessary. Institutions can also support student-led sustainability efforts through financial assistance. Teachers should also develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills among students, because these skills are essential for addressing complex global challenges, and they help students assess, evaluate, think deeply, ask questions, and even come up with effective solutions, thinking and using different perspectives. Health education is another aspect that teachers can promote, because health literacy can, on topics, for example, nutrition, sexual health, and disease prevention, can also help to promote the Sustainable Development Goals, especially that of well-being and health. Educational institutions can also incorporate environmental education into the curriculum, topics like water scarcity, pollution, sanitation, recycling, and reducing waste. Teachers, we should not forget that they should serve as role models and try to show their students, based via ethical education, what the ethical values are and how to reduce, ethically speaking, waste, how to conserve energy and make eco-friendly choices. They can, in other words, model the values like fairness, kindness, and respect, which will pave the way for a holistic, integrated personality that can reinforce all the ideas behind the sustainable goals. Teachers can also monitor and evaluate progress. Evaluation is another aspect. We should not only just plan and just implement and stop there. There should also be a further step about assessing. In other words, can schools and school communities keep track of how well their schools are doing in working towards the SDGs, and if they are moving in the right direction? It has to become somehow measurable and identifiable in order to move from a theoretical framework to a much more practical implementation. Educational institutions can also serve the purpose of being hubs for collaboration and networking to facilitate partnerships between students, faculty, and external stakeholders, creating opportunities for joint initiatives for specific SDGs. So teachers can work together with other teachers and other schools to share ideas and find the best ways to achieve and optimize the goals implementation. Lastly, I would like to conclude by saying that educational institutions can offer programs that focus on urban planning and sustainability to learn about infrastructure design, transportation solutions, e-vehicles, affordable housing, and green building practices. So what we should keep in mind as a takeaway message is that institutions aren't just places of learning. They are the key players in achieving SDGs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Evangelia Vassilakou madam, for your invaluable time, a very inspiring talk, wise words, and all the love. The entire Team Vedant is really grateful to you for your invaluable support, time, and the talk. Thank you. It is time to call our next plenary speaker, Dr. Naresh Kumar Vats. Dr. Vats is an associate professor at the University School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Guru Govind Singh Indraprasth University, New Delhi. He is also serving to various public service commissions as the examiner. With a specialization in English literature, Indian aesthetics, cinema, and communication skills, he brings multidisciplinary approach to his teaching and research. Dr. Vats has significantly contributed to the fields of literature and research, particularly in the Indian context, and has explored the intersection of cinema and communication in contemporary discourse. His academic endeavors focus on enriching students' understanding of literature and media, fostering critical thinking, and bridging traditional knowledge with modern pedagogical approaches. Let's invite Dr. Vats to talk to us.
Namaste, everybody. It's the virtual conference about Sustainable Development Goals 2030. Bridging gaps, building futures for Viksit Bharat 2047. This multidisciplinary international virtual conference is about the concept that as the world approaches 2030 deadline for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, it is crucial for India to not only contribute to this global endeavor, but also to align it with its national vision for a Viksit Bharat 2047, a developed and inclusive India by the centenary of its independence. This international research conference seeks to foster cross-disciplinary discussions, engage diverse stakeholders, and catalyze innovative solutions to accelerate progress towards the SDGs while preparing India for a sustainable, inclusive, and prosperous future. Keeping this broad concept in mind, I would like to limit myself and my discussion about how the creative expressions includes literature, sculpture, or any art forms. How this creativity and ideas about this creativity is relevant as far as the vision of Viksit Bharat is concerned. I would like to title my talk as it is there on the screen, Idea of Native in Creative Space. And when I say idea of native, I can expand it to the next sentence, that is decolonizing the theoretical discourse of language and literary criticism by reviewing our native traditions of knowledge. Native traditions of knowledge. What are those? Before that, if I talk about native and nationalism and internationalism, I'm reminded of certain big names, and one of them is Professor Bhalchandra Nemade. Professor Nemade talks about exactly nativity and how it can be seen. And it can be seen mainly in the departments of English, that the framework of critical theory is highly influenced by Western paradigms of thoughts due to historical regions, which fact has led to the marginalization of the indigenous thoughts on linguistics, aesthetics, and Sahitya Shastra. Isn't it that in our departments, when we look at the syllabi and we look at the kind of discussions that are undertaken in primarily in English departments, because I come from English department, so my talk will be more about how we teach theory and how we talk about theory in English as far as literature is concerned, and as far as other semiotics and other arts of meaning making is concerned. I would like to quote something from Professor Nemade. He says, it is expected that native perceptions naturally express themselves in any literature. However, as a result of years of slavery under crafty European rulers, a particular kind of colonialist internationalism was born in various parts of the colonial world in the mid-20th century. It's a very loaded statement when he talks about it. And he becomes very vocal about the time of 50s and 60s which are normally associated with modernism and postmodernism, as far as theoretical discourse or speculative discourse is concerned. He says that make Marathi scholars a case in particular. And he says that many Marathi scholars and writers of 1950s and 60s seems to have been carried away by such an internationalism, which also found a favorable socio-political environment in the, I'm quoting Professor Nemare, that the bogus internationalism of the Nehru era. As a coincidence would have it, the great form of modernism swept across the Europe around that time. When I say modernism, it's important that we discuss about the idea of beauty, idea of literature, as he says that the idea of beauty, aestheticism, and the kind of theory that was, being talked about that time. See, when we talk about idea of literature and the theory of literature, the most of the theory and most of the theoretical thoughts that come to us are from the West. We start from, you ask any most of the people, in English departments that, okay, let's talk about literary theory, and they will start from Aristotle, Plato, and come to the 20th century and talk about Marxism, and in between they talk so many things, and everything comes from the West. I would like to quote here that the idea of beauty and idea of aesthetics are so nicely defined by Mahakavi Bhas in his Shishupal Vadham, the great work. There he says, Chanay Chanay Yannavtam Upayati Tadev Rupam Ramaniyataya. See, what is Ramaniya? What is beauty? He says that, I talk in Hindi, जो प्रत्येक क्षण नवीनता को धारण करता है वही रमणीयता का स्वरूप है. I mean, that which keeps renewing itself every moment, which keeps taking new forms every moment, that is beautiful. Now, okay, thing is, when we say that is beautiful, it means whatever keeps renewing itself is beautiful. Okay, then there is a debate about modernism, about postmodernism, and about traditional. Generally, we say, what is tradition? What is modern and what is postmodern? Normally, we butt the idea of tradition and modernity together and against each other. You ask a school child, okay, what is the opposite word of modern? He will say traditional. That is the problem. When he says, Shanay Kshanay Yannavtam Upeti Tadiv Rupam Ramaniyataya, it means whatever keeps renewing itself is beautiful, is aesthetics. What is the idea of modernism? They say modernism means let us make it new. So whatever is renewed in a new form is modern. Is modern. So thing is, if that is modern, then what is tradition? Tradition is a free-flowing thing. It is like a river. It keeps flowing. A river is always new at a certain point because the water that once goes cannot come back. So tradition means whatever keeps renewing itself every moment. And whatever keeps renewing itself every moment is modern. So I have a problem with this dichotomy. I have a problem with this pair of opposite, that tradition is the opposite of morning, of modern. Now, if that is the case, the whole theory has some problem. He says, Professor Nemade here says, that these modernist literary ideologues, having fashioned a doctrine of pure aestheticism, become obsessed with propagating beautiful works of art. And in this problem, formalism, structuralism, aestheticism, and the similar branches of philosophy which are different to GOPET and comparative literature, technique-oriented, extrovertive theories like symbolism, universalist master narratives of Freud, Marx, and the others, and the popularity of an industrial, technological, scientific, secular sensibility, and so on, European literary ideologues forgot that every human group has its own culture. And he says, obviously, it is impossible for every community on earth to be European. Then how can everybody be European? That is the case. Let us talk about what Viksit Bharat 2047 says. Viksit Bharat 2047 initiative envisions India as a developed nation by the centenary of its independence in 2047. This transformative roadmap emphasizes inclusive development, sustainable progress, and effective governance. At its heart lies the active participation of India's youth, regarded as the key drivers of this change. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi underscored these roles, saying youth power is both the agent of change and also the beneficiaries of change. Through platforms like Voice of Youth, and there are some other platforms which were envisioned by various bodies in India. Such platforms and such initiative seek to channel the creative energy, ideas of the younger generations, aligning their aspirations with the nation's development goal and fostering a future of innovations, progress, and self-reliance. An important announcement has been made to turn the vision into Viksit Bharat 2047 into a reality. This is a vision which I took, from a press note. What is important about the idea of Viksit Bharat is that we took 5 sankalps, Panch Pran of Amrit Kal. That is the 5 commitments we undertake. First is goal of developed India. First Pran is Viksit Bharat, a developed India. और विकसित भारत से कम हमें कुछ नहीं चाहिए. The second Pran is remove any trace of colonial mindset. That is decolonization of Indian mind. How it can be done? There are several ways, because there are several aspects of colonialism. So there will be several ways and several aspects of decolonization also. गुलामी की हर एक स्मृति से मुक्ति. गुलामी का एक भी अंश बचा नहीं रहे. And hence, I talk about literature, art, and creative processes. The third Pran or the third commitment is take pride in your roots. अपनी विरासत पर गर्व. We should not shy away from our roots because we'll talk about it later, because our roots actually are the roots of the world. Our literary roots or our theoretical roots or our the roots of our speculative discourse are actually the roots of all other discourses. Fourth commitment is unity, एकता और एकजुटता की शक्ति. And the fifth commitment or fifth pran is sense of duty among the citizens. That is कर्तव्य बोध का जागरण, कर्तव्य बोध का संकल्प, अपने संकल्प बड़े रखना. Keep our goals higher. What will happen? इससे पुरुषार्थ और शक्ति दोनों की वृद्धि होगी. It's going to raise your idea of hard work and your capacity for hard work and commitment. When we say purusharth, there is actually, levels of duty that have been given to us. हमें कुछ पुरुषार्थ पहले हमें दिए गए, हम उनको पहले पूरा करें. हमारे 4 पुरुषार्थ हैं: धर्म, अर्थ, काम, मोक्ष. This is our way of analyzing life. We should look at the dharma. We look at the arth. Dharma means the right duty. We should know what exactly our duties are and what exactly are the natural laws and natural principles of this universe. Let us know it, because dharma means it's a rit. Rit means the natural principles, how heavenly bodies are behaving. We don't know anybody has written down a principle and given to them. It's a natural principle. And so is the Sanatan Dharma, because the principles and the goals of Sanatan Dharma, they are the goals of nature, because this is how nature works. The principle of nature is taking care of each other so that the balance of the or harmony of everything is maintained. And then arth means right possession, and काम. काम means our कामनाएं, to fulfill the desires, rightful fulfillment of the desire. And moksha. Moksha, here, let us not take that definition of moksha that we talk about, okay, we will die and then we shall go to heaven. मोक्ष का मतलब क्या है? आत्यंतिक दुख निवृत्ति ही परमानंद प्राप्तिश्च. Atyantik dukkha nivritti means complete annihilation of sorrow and sadness. Paramananda praptischa, and to achieve the highest level of happiness. This is moksha. And this is kartavya bodh. To achieve these commitments, we have to strengthen the spirit of decolonization of Indian mind. And we have to align our activities to that. As I was talking about earlier, that decolonizing the theoretical discourse of language and literary criticism by reviving our native traditions of knowledge. I'll give you an example. Those who come from literary backgrounds, come from English literature, they have been taught in theory that the idea of language and meaning, and there is Ferdinand Saussure who talks about how meaning emerges. He talks about there is the whole process of signification take place. And we say Ferdinand Saussure is the father of semiotics, and he started the discussion. And then there were other people who went further, how the meaning is unstable, and then they say how the meaning is not possible at all. We talk about Jacques Derrida and Roland Barthes, and there were so many others. When were they talking about it? It is just in the current century, or say 20th century. But see, the shlok which is there on the screen, Anadi Nidhanam Brahma Shabd Tattvam Yadaksharam Vivartate Artha Bhavena Prakriya Jagato Yata. This seems to be some philosophical kind of shloka who talks about Brahma. I'm sorry, the Hindi version has a mistake here. Shabd Tattvam Yadaksharam. It is? Anyway, this is a shlok from Vakyapadyam, the first shlok of the first canto of Vakyapadyam by Acharya Bhartarihari. He says, Anadi Nidhanam Brahma. Anadi Nidhanam means which never starts, which never ends, or at least we don't know when it started and we don't know when it is going to end. So it is Anadi and it is Ananta. Anadi Nidhanam Brahma Shabd Tattvam Yataksharam means that Brahma here means not Bhagavan. Brahma means that primary energy or the prime mover of everything. That is called Brahma, and that Brahma is nothing but Shabd Tattva. It is Shabd. Yat Aksharam. Aksharam, which is not subject to any kind of decay. So Shabd is Brahma and it is Anadi. It is Anant. The next line says, Vivartate Artha Bhavena Prakriya Jagato Yata. And that Brahma gives its reflection, which is called Jagat. So if Brahma is Shabd, Jagat is Artha. Is Brahma is word, Jagat is its meaning. It's as simple as that. If there is a word, there is a meaning. There is some kind of meaning. So, what is important about it? Ferdinand Saussure says that there is a Shabd, then there will be Artha. There is a signifier and then there will be signified. Further theoreticians said that the meaning, the signified is not stable. It is not tied to it. It is not fixed. And then further people say that it's not possible to have a meaning. Vivart here means, when he say Vivart is reflection, but it is a false reflection. Unstable reflection. It means a word has a meaning and the meaning is not stable at all. It keeps changing. If we take an example, if you are standing in, before some kind of light, there is a reflection. If you change, the reflection change. And if the position of light change, the reflection change. Intensity of the light change, reflection is different. You reduce your height, the reflection is different. You change your position, the reflection is different. It means that reflection, which is the meaning, that reflection is not stable. It means normally we are taught that this theory or the idea of meaning and unstable idea of meaning and all that has been taught in 20th century, and there were people who were the father or grandfather or great-great-grandfather. I mean, so many of fatherhoods are attributed to people in the West. I am sure in my career of so many years, when every time I ask people, those who come to master's course, that okay, have you heard about Acharya Bhartrihari? There are hardly people who know. Because and of course, if you ask, okay, do you can you name any people who or any theorist who have talked about the idea of meaning, then invariably they will be talking about Acharya Bhartrihari. No, sorry, Ferdinand Saussure and Jacques Derrida and other people. So, thing is, we are supposed to know exactly what our virasat is. That is why the third commitment, which is talked about in terms of Panchapran, that is virasat par garv. We should take pride in our virasat, in our heritage. This is how the whole discourse, is built up. The whole idea of otherization seems to look at the creative spaces from English or Euro-American frame of reference. If we refuse to fall into the trap of the world categories, the form is broken. The frame is broken. And we have to break this frame. Political, administrative, and disciplinary aspects of life are subject to the population size of a nation. And I don't know how, from where these terms have come. Even literature has been talked as third world literature or the first world literature. We have to be firm and confident about our identity. Exactly. The whole idea is how to establish a kind of discourse which is very important. What is discourse? Let us understand it. Discourse is a framework of statements. We have to talk about things. We have to be vocal about certain things. A network of statements within which and through which we understand the world around us. This is how West started talking about the East, talking about the Middle East, about India, and he started talking in terms of third world, second world, first world. I don't know how this third world has come to be. Third means what? Is poverty, it is completely not there in America or, certain pockets of America or states of America? Is poverty not there in England? It's a relative term. Riches and poverty are a relative term. They started talking about us as third world country and we accepted it. So let us first understand how they built up a discourse. Thing is, people start talking about certain things and they float certain statements around us. And now we keep hearing those statements and then we start believing in it. Let me give an example. Any of you, say, come to see me in my campus. Somebody told you, okay, go and talk to Dr. Vats. And you don't know anything about me. It means Dr. Vats has no meaning to you till now. It's a meaningless person. So you came to the gate and there is a guard and you met somebody and asked, okay, I want to meet Dr. Vats. And that person happens to say a sentence about me. Dr. Vats, not a good man. Why the hell you want to meet him? Now, so far, Dr. Vats had no meaning to you. All of a sudden, you heard a sentence and Dr. Vats acquired a meaning. Now, probably you will not you will drop the idea of meeting Dr. Vats? Or if you meet at all, your greetings will have the reflections of their statement. On the contrary, if the same person says, "Arey, sir is a very nice person. Okay, you come. I'll take you to his chamber." Now, Dr. Vats acquires another meaning, and that meaning is going to reflect in the namaste or the good afternoon that you are going to say to me. This is how discourse works. So it is important to break the frames and break these discourses. What should we do? That is very important. First thing is breaking away from the hegemony of the West is our modernity. When we say modern, what is modern? When whatever we say modern, it is actually essentially Western. It is essentially European. It is essentially American. Where is our modernity? So we should break away from the hegemony of what they call modern, because that is European modernity, it's not your modernity. We say, I went and stayed in a modern hotel. What was the measure of that modernity? The measure of the modernity is that they had a different kind of toilet where you can sit in a different way, as different from how we are used to sit in India. So what modern? It's a Western toilet and it's a Western room and it's a Western arrangement. And we call it international level of hotel. If we go, generally when we go to Europe and America, there we do not find of our kinds of utilities. So for us, those hotels are local hotels because they cater to their local needs. I am an international traveler for them, and they do not, create needs for me. They cater to my needs. So what we call modern and international in India, it is actually Western. So we should be decolonizing our minds by not letting our cultural practices sucked into the phenomenon of marketization and commodification of this on the name of this modernity. By saving our traditions from the menace of frigidity and fossilization on the name of the modernity. What is happening now? Whatever our cultures were and whatever our cultural practices are, they are being museumized and fossilized now. They are marketized now. See the idea of Onam, see the idea of Karwa Chauth and all these celebrations. What the hell we have done with them? We have marketized them. There are multi-million and billion industry around Karwa Chauth and the Onam festival and the Diwali festival. See the kind of markets and shops and other kind of businesses that grow around it. And on the name of modernity of celebration, we are simply diluting the very emotions around them. So this is how we are losing our nativity. We are losing our Indianness. Another way of decolonizing is opening our knowledge traditions to further epistemic possibilities. Right. We should not, of course, become rigid also. Too rigid. Otherwise, our traditions will be no more traditions, because a tradition remains tradition till it keeps modernizing itself. When a tradition stops to modernize itself, when a tradition stops to change and renew itself, it becomes just a dogma. हमको वो ढोना पड़ेगा. We'll not be able to celebrate it. And then looking at our traditions with respect is modernism. What is modernism? Looking at our traditions, looking at what we are with pride. This is modernism. For a change, let us understand that modernism is looking at our roots with honor, respect, and pride. This is modernism. respect for ourselves. So I would like to thank the organizers for giving me these opportunities to view my, to express my views and give my thoughts. Thank you very much. I'll be happy to take the feedbacks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Naresh Kumar Vatsal, for your beautiful talk, meaningful interventions. The entire Team Vedant is really grateful to you for your humble gesture, time, and the talk. Thank you. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. To justify this vote of thanks journey is very important, and we are together traveling towards Viksit Bharat and witnessing this India's biggest virtual conference for 5 days. Vedant Knowledge Systems Private Limited and all stakeholders of it are feeling honored to host you all in India's biggest virtual conference addressing Sustainable Development Goals 2030 and Viksit Bharat at 2047. It is indeed pleasure to have graceful presence of esteemed guests, esteemed speakers, experts, session chairs and dear participants. We would like to thank one and all participated in this event, directly, indirectly, for being with us in this beautiful event. We would like to thank our mentors, advisors, esteemed experts, all the dear participants, knowledge partner institutions, leaders of our nation and leaders from education sector, directors of Vedant Knowledge Systems and all the stakeholders of this event for your time, contributions and all love. Thank you all. Thank you for being with us in this journey. Thank you.